Hi, welcome to Vensire Studios. Today's video, I'm going to be going over how everything has been going with me with Davinci Resolve so far in Manjaro. So let's get this started. Before we get this going, I just want to go over the previous video in which I had done. In the previous video, it was how to set up for dual booting with Windows and Manjaro so I could actually transfer things over to work with DaVinci Resolve on there and other free programs such as GIMP and whatever else I may potentially need on a more free platform and one that has a lot less overhead. If you want to check that out, you can find that linked in the description above. With that out of the way, let's go. Alright, this video is going to be a little more off the cuff than my usual ones. You notice I've got a bunch of green on me and such. I'm using the green screen behind me, and I'm just recording this from my camcorder directly from OBS itself, so that we could get this, well, kind of fluidly going through it. But either or, today we're going to go over good, the bad, and the ugly that I've had so far working with this in Linux. Obviously, we're going to start with the good. Alright, with me in the corner, and we can actually get this all loaded up. So, start with the very basics, of course. DaVinci Resolve works in here. See it loading up. Not a single problem. Obviously, I had that from before. This is a personal one. It's going to be with a bunch of other people, not just me or my family, obviously. I transferred this over to Windows, and again, part of the ugly that I'll get into in a little bit. Oh, geez. Now, this is the original one. Tried having a whole green screen and everything, and we'll do a little playback here, I guess. You can see how it is. Doesn't have too much of a problem. I'm not running with proxies or anything, and usually once it stables out the frame rate, most of the time it doesn't have an issue, so great. Here I was working H.264, H.265, doing hardware encoding. The filters that I have all used so far all seem to be playing nicely. So, that's obviously very good. What else is good? Another thing that is good is updates so far, which I don't have to do, but when I first loaded this up, it had the major updates, and I used the NVIDIA 440 drivers that are official for on here. When I originally installed the Manjaro, one of the things that I would do is in here, when I would install this, I wouldn't use this. I was using specifically from terminal, which I would think it would be the same drivers, maybe. I was setting up for make sure Vulkan and all that's working, but every single time I did an update on the graphics drivers, that would be it. The whole system would go down. It wouldn't be happy. It didn't like using them or something. But doing it straight from here with the updates to the graphics drivers, there hasn't been a single issue whatsoever to complain about. So that's been working well. Obviously, I just, on a side thing, changed my own theme. And with that being covered, I'd say we're going to slowly transfer over to the bad. No matter how hard I've tried, I can't get the deck link working. And reading through it, I think I found out why. We're going to go up on here. See, there's stuff on here. I don't need that, so let's remove that. This has everything to do with doing direct recording, and mine's a 4K monitor only. It's not the input. If I click here, and I open it up on here, see here, got the person who submitted and maintains a Golden Center, and from everything I have read up on here, going through pages and oodles of pages of it, there seems to be some hacks to get it working, but you have to go down to, if you really want it working, from what I understand, is you need kernel 2.0. I'm on 2.4, and if I want to figure out how to compile 2.0, I guess I can do that, but you look at it straight from the system settings itself. We'll get on over to where the kernel is. The kernel goes from 5.4 down to 4.19 to 4.9. There's no straight 5.0, and I know a little bit. I mean, I've learned terminal commands and things like that, but I've never directly compiled my own kernel and such, and as for that, I'm not going to be doing this at this time, and it would seem to be, the long-term version of, like, say, Ubuntu uses kernel 4.2, and I'm not certain if I want to go down to that or use Ubuntu for that. I guess I could check if Fedora has that, but from what I understand with the graphics card I have coming, it's not gonna matter because it would rather have the newer drivers, because I have a Vega 7 on its way. Because another bad thing is, just like on Windows where I would have the memory run out of the VRAM, I noticed stuttering starting to happen while editing on Manjaro also. It wouldn't flat out crash and refuse to play or anything. It just would start getting massive frame dips and I would have to reload it in regardless. So I finally was like, break down the Vega 7, got 16 gigabytes of HBM2, and on top of it, XFX has it on Best Buy for $550. So that kind of a price I could go with versus the $750 it was just a few months ago. Was there anything else kind of ugly? It's not really ugly. The rest I really have to cover, but it's an inconvenience. Well, it's not really bad, I should say, that I have to cover. It's just ugly. We'll get on to that also. Oh, there's the recording I've done so far. Which I'll ironically have to go there. Anyway, but if I go to example here, this leads into the final part I was talking about. Let me load up Resolve again. Alright, Resolve's loaded up. As you can see, it's the H.265 I used to record over on Windows, one of the Dead by Daylight matches I had. Did I win in this one? Nah, I probably died. No, this one, actually, I think I did escape. Oh, look. Hey, oh yeah, that's right, I got the hatch. I finished in one of my Act 4 dailies or, archives or whatever. But you'll notice something that's missing. Waveform. This is AAC audio. What makes this oogly, obviously, is the fact that this still doesn't play AAC audio. It doesn't have the license on Linux to do that. So I had to get a workaround for it. I was asking around on Twitter, got no responses on there. I asked on the ChrisTitusTech's Discord. Love all of his content, and all the people are friendly and helpful on the Discord that I've seen so far, to find a ffmpeg way to encode the video over. Now, I was given the generics because I couldn't find it online. I was searching around for it, and then I actually found one to convert video and audio to MJPEG and PCM wave audio. I'm like, great. There's most of it. There's only one problem. I don't want to convert the video. There is no reason for me to convert the video if I don't have to. It saves a lot of time. So I did a little more diving into, you could say, ffmpeg, and I found a way so that I could just copy it instead. Now, this converts MP4 to MOV, and I see this is already an MOV. So I'm going to copy this on over. I'm going to have it make a new directory because it's going to be keeping the same name that is on here as it is. And we're going to go ahead and get this swapped on over. So right click, don't need root actions, just need Open terminal here. It has it in, obviously. And we're going to just paste that on in there. Wrong way. So I probably should have gone to NVIDIA settings and set this as the main display, but we're mostly done here, so there's no point in this. The MOV, do ffmpeg-I, copy, audio codec PCM S16E, quality 0. I wonder if quality even matters here for on here technically. I mean, if you're doing PCM, it's always lossless, so maybe I'm wrong. Might change the frequency, maybe? I don't know. Maybe I'll mess around with that one day. And this should transcode it into a new folder, hence why it says mkdir transcoded. I just hit enter, it should convert it. This shouldn't take long at all. As you can see, it's whiffing right through this. Yep, done. So, doesn't take long. It's a little inconvenient, yes, but with this specific way, with the way this is specifically set up, any of the files that are in the folder that you want to change over, it'll just go through every single one of them and convert. So that makes that rather simple. Okay, we're back on in here. Delete that. Let's remove that old file too. And we'll open up the one in here. Everything should work. Yep. You already see the waveforms in here. Bring it out. And play just a tiny bit. Oh. Scrub through it, there you go. So, easy peasy now, isn't it? Other than a little extra steps than before, but hey, it's okay. As long as I don't have to reconvert the video, it doesn't really bother me. Another thing to cover that's kind of ugly. I could leave this up while talking about it. Or, you know what? Make me back full screen. How's that sound? Transition that back on over. The other ugly thing I want to talk about is filters in Davinci Resolve. As I had stated, everything seems to work fine. The filters do the jobs that they're supposed to be doing appropriately, but it doesn't handle them as well as, say, on Windows. Now, I can play back on Windows, generally B-raw, zero issues, even with saying a sharpen or soften filter. Could do that and show you here, couldn't I? That probably would be the better idea. Give me a second. What I really should do is create a preset with where my camera will, whether the camera will be each time I want it in the corner, because this probably isn't going to match the same size as the other one. But you know, like I said, this is just impromptu going through what I've had so far these last several weeks. So here I created another serial node. Usually I slap this at the end. I need to do a little noise reduction and such. Open FX, come here, and soften, sharpen. As soon as I put that on, see it already softened the image quite a bit. Now usually I use 0 and 0, and it's the small textures. I changed it down, so let's just do 0.5 for the example. Now this is on a H.265 file. It might play better. It's not B-raw after all, so disable the audio and we'll let it just run around. Then again, it was also 60. Whoa, it's causing problems. Oh, alright. I have a pipeline enabled. I don't know why it would be causing a problem like that. Did that before when I was in here? Yeah, it did. That's something to look into in the future as well. Or we're going to look at the NVIDIA settings at the very end just to see what's going on. You can see I'm playing it. This doesn't have an issue. Now, if I do it on the video I had done, hold on up, we'll load on into there, you'll see the issue. I'm sorry, you're going to have that issue on OBS for the end. Here. Like I said, not intentional. I'm not perfect at this. I'm still working my way through. Audio is disabled. I'll disable this and tell it to play. can see it's playing fine at the native frame rate. OBS is gonna annoy the hell out of me. What if I have it on the same screen? I have it on screen capture. What if I changed it over to a specific application capture? Just bear with me 1 minute. Alright, Windows capture it is. Works. Sorry about that. But you see it's playing natively at the frame rate, not a single problem. I'll enable the soft sharpen. It doesn't look like here it does too much. Zoom on in, it gets rid of some of the noise you would see maybe in the background, just smooths it just a tiny bit more. Either or, I have it on now. We'll play back. As you can see through here, it's having even more issues, probably because of OBS. Usually struggle, try to push it to that 24 FPS, but can't quite do it. They just can't quite do it. So I have to have it disabled to keep that steady frame rate going. That is a bit unfortunate. Now, I'm sure people saying, you know, they optimize files, proxies, yada yada yada. Of course, I could do that. I'm gonna mess with optimized files more, but that's another issue I have had with B-Raw and running render proxies and so forth. Go up here and I'll go to where is it? Playback. Render cache, because like I said, it's smart, and current render cache is set to HQ, I think. Maybe I should do at the very least HQX, because the major issue I'd end up with is scope issue. I'd have issues where my scopes would be completely off and not displaying properly unless I disabled proxies and just did it raw. Maybe that's my problem. I'm sure it's my fault somewhere, maybe. For it, I mean, I'm talking about I'd have everything set up on the scopes, all the color rated and everything else, and it would have things pegged at the max and not do its job properly. But that's neither here nor there, and that's neither Linux nor Windows. It's just a generic issue I've noticed. So, alright, I'd have to say that this really concludes this video. There's nothing really else to talk about. I mean, I'm optimizing things the best that I can, messing around with it the best I can. Unfortunately, that project I'm working with right now with the Astoria Filmmakers Club, I transferred that back over to Windows and I'm editing directly on the NAS. Maybe that's the last thing I can cover. I don't know how to just directly edit off my NAS. It's not allowing me to do that, so that'll be something to explore in a future video. Maybe that'll be the next video. We'll see how it goes from here, but probably the next video right now is going to be getting things updated on Manjaro. Vega 7 I'm going to be getting in the next day or so. So stay tuned for that video. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you didn't, you know what to do. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, leave them in the comment section below. And as always, don't forget to follow or subscribe depending on whichever platform you're watching this on. And I hope you have a good day.